Hello, my name is Dr. Jessie Blackburn, and I would like to welcome you to English 2001, Introduction to Writing Across the Curriculum. I will be teaching this summer section of English 2001, and I would like to welcome you all to the course by providing two videos, one in which I will go over the course description, the course objectives and requirements, as well as the structure and general flow of the semester. And then the second video will be a more detailed look at the actual assignments as well as the weekly schedule. So make sure after you finish watching this first video that you have a look at the second one and use the second one regularly if you need help going over the class schedule, if you need help understanding what's due in what week, and then use this first video if you have specific questions about course objectives, course requirements, policies, and procedures. So to begin, you'll see that my office hours are listed for Monday through Thursday, 10 to 11 a.m. via Skype, email, or phone. You'll see that my Skype contact is Jessica Blackburn 8. And you can reach me by cell at 814-366-3443. And then obviously my App State email is a terrific way to reach me, and that's blackburnjb@appstate.edu. So as far as the course requirements then, we'll be using a fantastic text this summer called Writing About Writing. It's written by Wardle and Downs, and it's a text that you can rent through the App State bookstore. We'll also be using Writer's Help, which is an online handbook that you should have purchased when you enrolled in English 1000 at Appalachian. And if you did not take English 1000 at Appalachian, perhaps you've transferred in from another institution, then you are still able to purchase that online through the bookstore, and they will provide you with an access code that you will then use for the next 4 years at Appalachian State. If you were in English 1000 and you had Writer's Help, but you have since misplaced your password, then certainly reach out to the bookstore for their assistance. There are other required materials and applications for this course. Obviously, as an online course, you'll want to make sure that you have the capacity to be fully online, as well as access to a PC or a Mac, internet connection, working webcam, Microsoft Office, Adobe, Skype, all the Google applications. You can see the list right there. Right here on the syllabus, but also as the semester unfolds, you'll see where certain technologies are used more than others. As a quick reminder, for English 2001, there is a prerequisite. Appalachian State expects students to have successfully completed English 1000 and 30 hours of course credit before you may enroll in English 2001. If you find yourself wondering if that is the case for you, then please contact the Appalachian State Registrar, and you may do so by phone. There's no need to travel to campus. Okay, course description. So for English 2001, we ask that students read a variety of academic texts, analyze the writing conventions of various disciplines, and write in different genres for different academic communities. And you'll see that the multiple assignments throughout this summer together will help you achieve this course description. So to carry on with the description then, as we know, writing is integral to every academic discipline, but conventions differ greatly from one discipline to another. Writing is not only important to all fields of study within the university, though it will also be an important aspect of students' professional lives. Whether writing a business proposal for a company's expansion or a scholarly article for a psychology journal, understanding the conventions of discourse and genre is crucial to successful communication. So English 2001 focuses on rhetorical, disciplinary, and genre awareness and research methods and documentation, emphasizing how expectations change across a wide range of academic contexts so that students may more readily transfer skills across contexts. Students learn how to analyze and write about text rhetorically and critically and use different methods of documentation and other conventions appropriate to different academic disciplines. Students leave this course as well-prepared writers with a rhetorical sensitivity to meet varied writing situations within academic and professional settings. So what this means then is that at App State, English 2001 is set up to help you enter into your major, your discipline, and eventually your profession or your field. So we look at English 1000 as a course that helped introduce you to writing at the college level. It helped maybe provide some practice in certain areas that you maybe needed as you made the transition from high school to college. English 2001, though, is that bridge course. It's that course that we use to help students move out of that freshman, sophomore level writing capacity and into the upper level writing strengths and strategies that you'll be expected to demonstrate in your major, and certainly once you've left App State and you have gone on into your profession. So to help you achieve that, then, we have multiple assignments laid out that will introduce you to writing in your discipline, that will help you come to understand your own process as a writer and how you have arrived at your major, and it will also help you familiarize yourself with what kinds of writing will be expected of you within your major here at Appalachian, and then what types of writing you'll be expected to perform professionally. And so those assignments are very intentionally designed, and I'll go over that in just a minute. So the goals and outcomes for English 2001 are standard across all sections of 2001 at Appalachian, but just to familiarize yourself with them, I won't read these word for word, but what I'll do is I'll read the top goal, and then I'll talk with you a little bit about how we're going to achieve the overall goal, and I'll leave the sub-goals to you to read and become familiar with. So goal 1. Students demonstrate the goals and outcomes of English 1000 in increasingly complex rhetorical situations. So we expect that students take what they achieved or what they learned, what they gained, what they advanced at in English 1000, and you become even more proficient in those skills in English 2001. And we hope that you will take what you learned in English 1000 and then become nimble as a writer and understand how to apply those skills across different genres and within different disciplines, and that you understand what it means to write within a certain rhetorical situation with purpose and authority. We certainly, like all classes at Appalachian, hope that English 2001 will help demonstrate critical thinking, reading and writing through participation in your field of inquiry and in your ability to look at your peers' writing as well as your own writing. And we hope that because of 2001, students will recognize that writing is a process. And that's something that should ring familiar from English 1000, in which you became, I'm sure, exceptionally familiar with the idea of invention, of drafting, of multiple drafts, in fact, revision, and sometimes even radical revision, in which you take an assignment and you look at it through a different medium, or you shift perspective altogether. So, in other words, it's the idea that the writing process is not just proofreading and editing for surface level errors, but that it is a level of deep mining, of intellectual inquiry that we move through, and that we use writing as a heuristic or a tool that helps us come to know more about what it is that we're writing about. And goal 2 is that students exhibit increasing disciplinary awareness. And this is where we really see the nuts and bolts of English 2001, where we really ask students to start practicing the different conventions that are seen across the disciplines, that students begin to understand that writing in English is not the same thing as writing in the sciences, or writing in psychology, for example, or writing in anthropology, or writing in a business writing class, that as we move through different disciplines and different rhetorical situations, that we should also make appropriate moves as writers. We also expect that students do this with an understanding of rhetorical theory. In other words, an awareness of audience, of purpose, of tone, and different tools that are employed intentionally to help appeal to one's audience. Goal 3 is that students apply disciplinary awareness to the creation of their own texts across various genres and/or media. And this is where we ask that you understand that the writing that is already taking place in your discipline, and that your writing is entering into that conversation. Students develop metacognition of academic writing, which is goal 4. And metacognition is sort of an overarching awareness. So it's not just the micro understanding of writing at the college level, but it's sort of understanding it sort of holistically. What does it mean in general to be able to write and reflect on writing and its place within disciplinary conventions, but across different disciplines and outside of the academy, and of course the rationale for those conventions. And then lastly, goal 5 is that students develop information literacy strategies and skills that transfer across the curriculum. And I think as an online writing course, we should have no trouble meeting that objective. And it's important to note as well that all English 2001 students will produce a semester-ending portfolio that demonstrates fulfillment of these goals and outcomes, and that is not optional. The portfolio is mandatory. So let's talk very quickly about the course activities, and then I'll pause and I'll return to our second video where we'll look more closely at these activities and how they will unfold from week to week. So activities can be broken down into weekly work, which is 30% of your course grade, draft work and conferencing, which will be another 30%, and your final e-portfolio is 40%. All work must be completed in order to pass this course. And your weekly work then, the 30% of your course grade, will consist of your reading responses, and these will be assigned from writing about writing and other sources. And I may in fact include outside readings, or I may share a YouTube video. All of this will be posted to As You Learn and will be discussed weekly in the discussion forum. And this activity is of course a part of your process, and one of the many ways that we will come to understand what writing looks like in terms of what your writing looks like in terms of using it as a way to think through things and to articulate things more clearly and critically. The discussion forum and peer response. Every week you will be given several free writing prompts about the reading, online media, and or weekly topic. So I'm asking that you pick 2 of these prompts and write 1 page, double-spaced, 12-point font in the space provided in the discussion forum. After this initial post, you'll be expected to respond to 2 peers' free writing responses, 1 paragraph each in a thoughtful and engaging way. And you'll use the paste button from Word when copying and pasting your response so that peer response do not contain extra text and are readable. And I'll chime in as well and monitor these ongoing threaded discussions over the next 5 weeks. And you can see here that I have listed the grading criteria for the discussion forums. And make sure that you read through this and you understand what is exactly expected in terms of your thoughtful responses and fulfilling the weekly reading response. Draft work then, which is also 30% of your course grade, will be required. You'll be required to write 6 total drafts or course documents this semester with special emphasis on process, revision, critical analysis, multiple drafts, and interdisciplinary scholarship. Late work will be accepted or rejected on an individual basis, but I must admit now that I am very likely to reject late work unless you have an exceptional excuse. A description of each assignment will be posted to As You Learn. And I'm asking that you upload your drafts in 2 places, the assignment link and the discussion forum peer response link, so that you all are able to respond to one another's drafts. As far as draft work is concerned, you will be asked to submit the following weekly: 1 draft submission, 1 peer review forum, and 1 virtual conference with me. And as far as the assignments themselves, we'll be doing a literacy narrative, a writing in your discipline assignment, and 1 rhetorical analysis. In the next video, I'll go over these assignments in detail. As you are submitting your drafts, please bear in mind that conferences will start in week 2, and you will be responsible for scheduling 4 virtual conferences with me via Skype, Google Hangout, telephone, etc. A sign-up link will be posted in the module for week 2, and the format for our meeting will be decided individually. During these brief 5 to 10 minutes or long 10 to 30 minute virtual conference meetings, we will discuss your drafts, revision, writing strategies, and other issues or questions you might want to discuss pertaining to this course. Please keep in mind my agenda is secondary, and often I will not have one. This time is really important and only productive if we focus on what you need and want as you make your way toward an intentional writing practice. And attendance for each meeting is required. And lastly, the e-portfolio, and that is 40% of your course grade. And I will go over that in more detail in the second video. So I will pause now, and so please make sure that you move on to the second video after you have watched this and perhaps watched it again to make sure that you understand the course objectives.